a quick chronological order as far as influences go. Michael Jackson, Richie Valens, Buddy Holly, Elvis, the Beatles, then Harry Connick Jr., then Frank Sinatra.
My reasons for getting into music were not very wholesome up to then, but definitely somebody gave me recordings of, I finally got exposed to the recordings of like Dr. John and Ray Charles.
When I was in elementary school, I saw a professional jazz band playing, and I really enjoyed it.
In the 4th grade, we had a sort of an assembly, and it was a couple. They were called the Harples. They were involved with the symphony at the time, and they were doing lessons. They had a display of all the instruments, and that was pretty cool. I remember getting the form. Mom, I want to play a musical instrument. Really excited about that. That's how I got started, you know.
It goes back a long way for me, and I think Allison will probably answer this the same way, and that we are 2 of 7, so music was a big part of our household growing up.
I think when I was about 12 years old or 13 years old, I knew then I wanted to be a recording engineer or a producer.
Well, the Upper East Side Big Band happened when I was still at VCU. Later on, someone mentioned Adrian Duke to me to come out and be one of the guys to play there. Most of the players are VCU students coming out, and then, you know, they're made up of, it's pretty much the whole Richmond horn scene, everybody from No BS Brass Band to Devil's Workshop Big Band. It's pretty much the same personnel, but Adrian definitely added a flair to it. So
I first met Samson back when I was teaching a course for VCU. We hit it off right away. His interest in music, not only the Beatles in this case, but in a lot of other music that has happened throughout the ages, just his broad interest, his curiosity about how things were done, how things were recorded, who came up with the idea to do something a certain way. All those things really played into my interest.
Actually, I went to see the Upper East Side Big Band at Bogart's, and I happened upon them. Actually, I had no idea who was playing that night, and I was walking through the hall in the back room, and I heard that sound, and it was like nothing else I've heard around here anyway. So, and I literally was just drawn to it, and I met Samson that night.
You know, we're all connected, and he'd been around to performances. It's funny, he says he remembers seeing our jazz work when he was in high school and being pretty electrified by the sound of the brass. And
it's the normal big band setting, which is 5 saxes, 2 altos, 2 tenors, 1 baritone sax. I like using 3 trombones versus 4 trombones, 4 trumpet players. Your basic rhythm section is guitar, bass, drums, and piano. But with our recent project, the recent Abbey Road project, it was fun because we had 2 guitar players, and Adrian did everything from keyboard to organ and a little bit of a man flute.
I have been amazed at the fluidity with which the group works. You know, the talent in that group, for one thing, is just mind-blowing. They take a piece of music, well, I mean, Samson, of course, to write the arrangements that he writes for every instrument, whether he plays the instrument or not, it's just always, he's just a genius.
And I really love working with those guys. It's so fun for me to get that sound right, because I think it needs to be authentic big band sounding. The brass needs to sound there.
It's not like your regular 4-piece group where you can come together and come up with songs on the spot, which is awesome because you don't have to write anything out. But this year, for me, both Adrian and I had to write for 19 people. And that's 19 individual parts, and then after you score it, you have to arrange it and then print out the parts. That's murder in itself.
And it may not work the first time. You go back and change it.